aside from that. And there we go. So, we're on Golden Wall for Game 2. I don't know who won Game 1. It was very quick, which means I suspect that XiGua tried some early cheese, but I don't know if it worked out or not. So, let's introduce our players. Spawning in the far right-hand side in the blue, it is our Pro Tour player representing China. His name is Cyan. Cyan? Either way. And his opponent on the far left-hand side in the red. Did I say left earlier? Left-hand side in the red. It's our Zerg player going for a more conservative build here in Game 2. It is XiGua. So if you're wondering what happened last game I was concerned that my sound wasn't working. In fact, it was working. It's just muted when I tab out. So I was trying to fix my sound, and instead of clicking on the options button, I clicked on the leave game immediately button, which is very embarrassing, and I'm a little ashamed to admit my mistake. But the good news is we're in for game number 2, and I'm terrified to touch any of my settings, so my observing might not be completely as good as you guys are used to, but I promise you we're doing the absolute best we can here. As I said, I downloaded the Chinese client at 6 a.m. this morning. That was about an hour ago, and I have not had time to learn Chinese since then, so I'm sort of figuring out what all my settings need to be. Anyway, we got a much more standard opening this time for both players. An early third base down for XiGua, which Cyan did see earlier. And Cyan dropping that second gate as well. He's going to know that he's got plenty of time to get these ready to roll. Pool is finished up, and Ling Speed going to start right away for XiGua. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Going to start right away for XiGua. He's moving across the map with these two Lings now just to try and get a scout in. He's got an Overseer parked, of course, on the north side of Golden Wall, but the first Zealot just finishes up, and that should be able to push away any of these Lings. XiGua just getting his third base up. So the Overlord does see its second gateway, but no Tier 2 tech yet for Cyan, our Pro Tour player. Overlord does spot that none of these minerals have been mined out. No minerals mined out on the south side for XiGua either. So both players just committing to the top side of the map right now. Nobody really willing to mine out those bottom minerals and access the south side of the map. We've got Cyan, who's adding on a Robo Bay down in his natural... Oh, no, sorry, up in the main here, of course. Oh, my gosh. Robo Bay up here in the main. But the Overlord from XiGua has not yet spotted that. Overlord in the south position should be moving in at about the 4-minute mark to try and catch this Robo. Just going to adjust my sound settings and try and turn up my music, but I'm afraid it's going to have to stay as quiet as it is for now, guys. Overlord finally getting pushed away. The Stalker not going to take advantage of it. And behind the Robo, a Twilight Council. So Cyan is going to start producing that first Immortal. And we are going to see straight Immortal coming out of Cyan. Now, this is very unusual. Normally, I would expect an Observer out first or possibly a War Prism to support this Twilight Council. But going Robo first generally means a Pro Tour player wants to stay on that Immortal tech and crank a few of them out very quickly. We'll see what additional tech he goes for. It is going to be Charge Lot Immortal. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Charge Lot Immortal, a lot of sentries should be coming down very soon. We already see 2 sentries out for Cyan, and Warp Gate research finished up. On the Zerg side of the map, still no additional tech, just that Roach Warren down for now. So the Roach count is at 7. He's just added on 7 new Roaches here, but these are the first real aggressing units out of XiGua. Scouting Phoenix from Cyan going to see that Roach Warren, and now he should know roughly the timing of his opponent. Anyhow, Warp Prism now on the way for Cyan, and he's going to get that Immortal in the Warp Prism. Is he going to go for a drop? That would be very surprising. I don't think... Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh, he is. He's going to go for a drop. Cyan going to pick up that Immortal with the Warp Prism and head across the map right now. This is a really unusual play. Again, opening Robo first is not the most unusual. It's probably the least common of the 3 tech choices right now for Pro Tour players, but getting that Immortal loaded up into the Warp Prism and not saving it for this potential Roach pressure... very interesting. We're going to see these roaches and lings coming across the map for XiGua as his third base is saturated up. He doesn't need to add on any more drones. It's all Roach Ravager all the time now. Going up to Lair Tech in his natural, but Roach Speed won't be done by the time this first attack hits. Lings getting on top of the Zealots here. This Immortal going to be out of position. A couple Zealots in the main base, but there's nothing back home for XiGua to defend with. He is going to see this push coming. The Queen going to get out of there right away. Is this going to pull our Zerg player back? No. XiGua just going to go for the attack. XiGua pushing in, but already drones falling in his main base to the Immortal and Zealots. Big warp in from Cyan in the main base. Okay, that is going to force a recall here. A couple Zealots being left behind for Cyan to try and kick down what they can in the main base. But right now, XiGua putting on the pressure on the wall of Cyan. Cyan has not yet used that shield battery overcharge. He doesn't have the energy for it on that low ground expansion. He's only at 31 energy. Of course, you need 50 energy. One Immortal is out here. Second Immortal coming back. This is the Immortal from the that has been recalled from the main base. These 4 Zealots still alive, and oh no, oh no, oh no. If this spawning pool goes down, that's going to slow down XiGua quite a bit. He's already lost 10 drones. Roaches and Ravagers are going to pop out here. Luckily, none of the units have been pulled back at all from XiGua. He's going to make a kill off that pylon, force a cancel on the third base, and then retreat back home. This counts as a defense for Cyan. That is very surprising. I definitely thought he was going to get broken here. XiGua is going to try again, though. He's going to break upon the rocks and see if he can pick down this forward, this wall from Cyan. A couple of corrosive piles going down to try and draw back those force fields, but with good force fields, with the Archons up front now, and with the Immortals being saved by these shield batteries, Cyan is going to push this all the way back. Another good defense for Cyan, who's on 45 workers to the 51 of his opponent. Another little Zealot run by here in the third base. The Queens are here for transfuses. Ravagers being pulled back, but this is a lot of Zealots here. No upgrades yet for Cyan. Just Zealot charts, so no +1s or +2s yet for Cyan. He's going to get a couple drones on the transfer here, but the Zealot's going to be distracted trying to fight off these Roaches and Ravagers, and they shouldn't get too much more done here. Yeah, the last of the Zealots picked off. And wow, all these drones from the natural are going to transfer up to the third to try and resaturate that third base. Now, there is still no fourth out for XiGua yet. Cyan has dropped his third, so the third base is going to be up in good time for Cyan, and he's going to be even on bases with his Zerg opponent. If we look at the income graph here, we can see that it is in favor of Cyan. And our Protoss player, no surprises, leading in the income graph because he's done so much economic damage, and these Zealots continuing to do lots and lots of run-bys here in the third base. XiGua's economy has just been crippled right now, and Cyan in a strong position here in game number 2. Reminder, guys, if you are just joining us, the score on screen is incorrect. I didn't learn Chinese in time this morning, and unfortunately accidentally left game 1. I did not see who won game number 1. So we are in game 2. I'm not sure what the results are right now. Apologies for my mistake. We'll see if we need a game 3 here, and then I'll be sure that we get the score correct. Forge on the way for Cyan, and he's got an Immortal coming out now. His Immortal count is up to 4. With 5 on the way. He's got a couple Archons as well, with another one on the way. And wow, 5 Archons on the map. Where are all those Archons? In the Warp Prism, sneaking around, trying to pick off these creep tumors. Wow, nice dodges on that Observer. Dodging those corrosive biles, going to keep that alive for now, which is great. +1 is finally starting here for XiGua. He's got his +1 melee, or missile attacks, rather, coming out for his Roach Ravager push. But there's a big attack coming in from Cyan. Now, Cyan's army supply is roughly even with XiGua, but remember, XiGua is on Roach Ravager, which is very supply heavy right now. So this army from Cyan is actually much stronger than the army from XiGua, and if there's a straight-up fight right now, I think Cyan's got a really strong chance of winning it. He's got sentries that have got plenty of energy on them. It looks like a couple probes going down with a Ling run by in the third base. This Zealot will get surrounded and taken down, but the big attack happening outside the natural. Roaches and Ravagers in the natural up on the high ground, trying to drive these units away, but this opens up the third, and Cyan can rotate around to the third base. This Evolution Chamber only at about half health right now. It could be taken down before +1 finishes. +1 has started for Cyan, but yeah, XiGua knows he can't do it. That's a GG. Cyan is going to be able to roll over his opponent there, and XiGua drops game number 2.